Hi everyone, today we are going to take a look at eighth notes and a warm-up and tune that both use eighth notes. So let's start by just taking a screenshot of our music. This is for violins, violas, and cello bass. And I'm going to go back to the violin slide, but if you want to put up your music separately, that's okay. Might be easier for you to read it that way. And so if you take a look at the general layout of this scale warm-up, it looks like it's basically a D major scale going up or ascending on the top line, and then a descending or going down D major scale on the second line. And for the most part, again, it just uses quarter notes. So this all the way up through the first three measures should be a pretty easy read for most of you. You should be able to play that first try easily. When we get to the fourth measure, this measure has four different rhythms within it. So let's take four different note values within it. So let's take a look at each one. The first one is a quarter note, a one beat note. We know that already. That's super easy. We don't need to go over that. The last one, we're skipping over the middle. The last one is a half note, a two beat note, and we've worked on those where you have to do a nice long bow for those to make them two beats. And then in the middle here we have this is a pair of eighth notes. So it's important to notice or to know that these are two different eighth notes. They often come in a pair like this, but you can see them separated. And in fact, as you progress through playing an instrument, as you get a little bit older, you will see them separated quite a bit. In fifth grade and in middle school, you'll see that. So when we get to this last measure, we might need to figure out how to count this. If you can kind of imagine there were numbers under each of these quarter notes, we would call this 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 beats in this measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. When you count eighth notes, you say 2 and. So 1, 2, and 3. And that's a long 3 and 4. So when we get to that last measure, and I'm going to pick up my instrument, that last measure is going to have this rhythm. And I'm just playing open D, but the rhythm will sound like this. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. Why don't you try that with me? Just on your D string. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Awesome. So now we don't really need to go over the first three measures. Let's play from the beginning. When we get up to that high, or to the fourth measure, it's the notes C sharp and D. We'll make sure we play the correct rhythm. Okay, so from the beginning, we'll just do the first line and then we'll pause and then do the second line. So ready? Here we go. Okay, hopefully you got that different rhythm. It kind of gives it a nice little twist to our usual D major scale of just regular half notes or quarter notes. And now we'll go back down, and as you can see in measure 8, the last measure of this exercise, it now is E, 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 D for the 1, 2, and 3. So let's find that high D. And we'll go backwards from measure 5. Or not, we're going to do the scale backwards, but we're starting at measure 5 and going to the end. Ready? Here we go. One, two, and 3. Awesome. Let's put this whole thing together. This whole scale warm up. Ready? Here we go. Awesome. And we'll need to know that relationship between the half notes and quarter notes and eighth notes for the song we're going to play. Let me first, again, just show you your music. So violins, this is for you. Violas, this is for you. and cello bass. All right, and as you can see, we have a nice mix of quarter notes, half notes, and eighth notes that we'll get to play in this. The first, one thing I want to point out, this can be played as a round, which means if you had 2 or even 3 people, you could each start in a different spot and it would fit together. And you may have in music class sang in a round before, but if it's just you playing like it is today, we're just going to go through it and play the melody. So these numbers, these big numbers on top, you're going to ignore those for now. And what I'd like to do is let's go through and play the first 4 measures. These are all quarter notes. There shouldn't be any problems. Like again, like the warm-up, this should be pretty easy sight reading. We have D, E, F sharp, D, D, E, F sharp, D. So the first 4 measures. Ready, here we go. Okay. Again, if you had a hard time with that, you can pause and work on that, but I think most of us should be able to get through that pretty easily. Now we're going to look starting at measure 5. Okay, and this is where we have the mix of half notes and quarter notes. Remember, a quarter note gets 1 beat, a half note gets 2 beats, so it's twice the length. And we have F sharp, G, A. Now, if you're playing violin or viola, they've marked a 4 over that A to use what's called fourth finger. We haven't learned that yet, so for right now, you can just play open A, and that's okay. So we're going to go F sharp, G, A, F sharp, G, A. Okay, let's play that. Remember, it's going to be the difference between the shorter bows and then the longer bows for the half notes. Here's starting at measure 5. Here we go. Let's put that all together. So this is the first 8 measures, the whole top line. Ready, here we go. Awesome. Now, we can see in this exercise there are 2 beats in every measure. So in the string or the scale warm-up, we counted to 4 in each measure. Here we're counting to 2. So we have to think about that when we're counting our eighth notes in measure 9. But we have 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. So you can see those eighth notes are much faster. Let's just play measure 9. Measure 9 is going to sound like this. A, B, A, G. And there's a string crossing in there, which makes it a little bit more challenging. Try that with me. And if you can't get it with me this time, it might be a good time to pause and practice through this. Ready, and here we go. Awesome. Let's put together measures 9 and 10. It will sound like this. Try it. Ready, here we go. And you can see that those quarter notes feel pretty long after playing the eighth notes. So again, eighth notes are half the length of a quarter note. So in comparison, the quarter notes feel quite long. Let's play from measure 9 all the way through measure 12. It's the same thing 2 times. So ready, and here we go. Awesome, and we should be able to read the rest starting on that D. Here we go. Awesome. Let's play all the way through this. And again, this is a great piece to really show you the difference between those 3 note values, the quarter notes, the half notes, and the eighth notes. And so make sure when you're playing this, you're not just going through and playing each pitch, but not really giving them a different length, but that you're really showing the difference. This is a 1 beat note, this is a 2 beat note, and these are half beat notes, shorter notes. Okay, so all the way through from the top. Ready, here we go. course, we do have a repeat sign here. If you wanted to play this, yeah, you could repeat and do it again. So that's a little bit of an exploration of eighth notes. If you have any questions, you can send me an email or a video with your question, and I'd love to hear a video of you playing through these.